فقد قال الله عز وجل في القرآن المجيد بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إنما يعمر مساجد الله من آمن بالله واليوم الآخر وأقام الصلاة وآتى الزكاة ولم يخش إلا الله فعسى أولئك أن يكونوا من المهتدين صدق الله العلي العظيم صلوات. Dear brothers and sisters, Assalamu alaikum, and thank you for joining us for the Imam al-Asr open house. The main purpose of this event is for all of us to find out about the different services and activities that we have at Imam al-Asr Masjid, and to offer our input, suggestions, and feedback on how to expand and improve those services, and also to offer our own time, energies, and talents to make those activities better and more effective than they have been in the past. And so you will have a time to go to the different tables and talk to some of the volunteers who have been working very hard for our Sunday school and Islamic education, which is a hybrid virtual in-person program, for our recreational activities, for our youth-centric activities, for our religious observances and worship programs, weekly programs for dua, for Friday prayer, for the observance of the celebrations and the mourning of Ahlul Bayt. Before we do that, just a few introductory remarks. One of the foundational beliefs of our community and our organization is that Islam is not one part of our life. It's not a compartment in our life, but rather it is the focal point and what unites all of our roles and responsibilities and all of our goals and ideals within our life. So anything that I want to accomplish for myself or within my life, that is colored and beautified and perfected by Islam. Not just my worship and prayer and ritual. But if I want to improve my physical health so that I live better and I live longer, then that is part of my Islamic life and my religious goals. If I want to educate myself about issues that will make me live my life better, or that will allow me to be of greater benefit to society, then I don't say, well, that's education, that's separate from Islam. That also is part of my religious life. Our appreciation for beauty, our appreciation for nature, our desire to stimulate our mind, our desire for recreation and enjoyment, and all of the other areas of our life, they all are part of our religion. And the focal point for all of those activities should be our community and our masjid. Over the past number of years, many of you have been very closely involved and helped as we have moved forward on the plan for the expansion of our physical infrastructure and the completion of the Imam al-Asr Masjid complex. And we've had a number of town halls, fundraising events. Your du'as, your prayers, your assistance have helped that project move forward. But really, that is just the physical infrastructure. It is necessary, but it isn't the heart. The heart is what we are here to talk about and to learn about today. which is the programs, the religious services, the community building that we are looking for as a Muslim community. And there is a very beautiful expression in the Quran about how a masjid can thrive. In Surah At-Tawbah, Allah says, إِنَّمَا يَعْمُرُ مَسَاجِدَ اللَّهِ. The expression is imran, to make a masjid flourish and thrive. Not just to build it, but to make it thrive, which requires the physical infrastructure, and most importantly, it requires the heart and the soul and the dedication. And so, building a masjid may require certain technical skills. It may require certain material resources. But the Quran doesn't say that it is architects and engineers that ya'muru masajid Allah, or that it is people with financial resources. But rather, those very people will be able to make a masjid thrive and flourish. Man amana billahi wal yawmil akhir wa aqama as-salata wa ata az-zakata wa lam yakhsha illa Allah. It is spiritual attributes, that you care about prayer and establishing prayer. You care about zakah and helping with your alms those who are less fortunate. You care about the weak and the vulnerable within society. You care about Allah and you fear none but Allah. And those are built on a foundation of man amana billahi wal yawmil akhir. You have faith in Allah and in the last day. The Quran says these are the attributes that make a masjid thrive and flourish. And فَعَسَىٰ أُولَٰئِكَ أَن يَكُونُوا مِنَ الْمُهْتَدِينَ. These are the people who, it is hoped, will achieve guidance and will be a light and a beacon and a source of inspiration and a role model for a society where the greatest need is spiritual insight and guidance, not any other kind of material deficiency or lack. So what is required? The first thing is for us to think of a masjid as a plant that we are laying the foundation for it to grow and to blossom and to thrive. So to have a horizon that's not limited to today and tomorrow and next week and next year, but rather that looks towards the future in an open-ended manner, where we are not consumers, but rather we are investors, we are planting, we are laying a foundation for something that will give benefit to us and to our families, but to all of humanity. We shouldn't be consumers, and we shouldn't be thinking, where is it that our institutions, for example, may not be living up to their potential, and then we alienate ourselves and do something on the side. Come and see where are those institutions in need of additional volunteers? Where are they in need of additional ideas? Where are there gaps? And help fill those gaps so that the masjid can live up to its role and its potential as the center not just of the worship and the spiritual life, but of the entire life and the existence of our community in all of our needs and in all of our roles. So the first thing we need is to look at our masajid and our religious institutions not as consumers, but as contributors. Not just as someone who will take a benefit, but as somebody who will plant the seed that will grow, that will thrive, and that will bear fruit many years in the future. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. The second requirement is that our goals be not just individual goals, but goals for our community and for our collective. Many times we see that I can be more efficient in my worship or in my learning about Islam if I do something on my own. But whenever you get involved with the community, there are different opinions, there is politics, there are inefficiencies that come up. And so many of us, we say, let me just do this on my own. I don't want the headache. But if we want to build something that is going to last and that is going to give a general benefit, then even that inefficiency and the different personalities and perspectives and even the politics are something that acquire a sacred attribute, because that is what allows us to develop a community and develop links that didn't exist before. And if our horizon is not just for the immediate future, but for the indefinite future, then we won't think of that as being inefficient or a waste of time at all. We will think of that as an investment and as something that is strengthening and building a community. So first, let us not be consumers, but contributors. Second, let us not be individuals, but let us look at the collective and strengthening our community and creating a community and links where sometimes we may not have had those connections in the past. According to the majority of our fuqaha, there is a great deal of reward for praying your prayer awwalul waqt, meaning right at the beginning of the time for prayer. But there is also a great deal of reward in praying your prayer in jama'at, in congregation. Now what happens if you have a choice? I can pray individually awwalul waqt, or I can pray in congregation, but the congregation is going to take a little bit of time to start. Both of them are good. And either choice you make, if you make it for the sake of Allah, then you will get reward. More reward than praying late or praying at the end of the time on your own. But according to the majority of our fuqaha, the greater reward is to delay your prayer, if you're delaying it, to join a congregation. Because the reward of the jama'ah is greater even than the reward of as-salat fi awwal al-waqt, in the beginning of time. Although there are additional details, but that is a general principle. So that is the spirit that we are looking for within our community. And the third and final thing that I would like to say is, let's not look for our interests and our wants and our needs as the source of what we are willing to do for the community. But let us look for where the greatest gaps are and where the greatest needs are. Where is it that we can serve Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala most effectively and with the greatest sincerity? I shouldn't say that it's beneath me to teach a child alif, ba, ta, and how to read Quran because I am, say, an expert in tajweed or an expert in Islamic law. If there is somebody else to teach the introductory course and I can teach another intermediate or advanced course, great. But if there is nobody else and the greatest need is for that introductory course, then that is where I should be. I shouldn't say that I am a professional and therefore there is somebody else who can volunteer to vacuum or to clean up in the center. Whether I am an alim or a professional or anybody else, wherever the need is in our community, that is where I should be. And that spirit is what brings our community its greatest strength and resource. Beyond power and influence and money, it is the spirit of sacrifice and the spirit of altruism that will build a strong community, that will allow us to live up to the potential of the teachings of Ahlul Bayt. And remember, in the teachings of Ahlul Bayt, our propagation, our missionary work, our da'wah and tabligh, it isn't by passing out literature and knocking on doors and calling people to become Muslim. In the proper context, there's nothing wrong with all of those activities and they have a place, but they are not the main focus. In the words of our sixth Imam, Imam Ja'far al-Sadiq alayhi salatu wassalam, كونوا دعاة للناس بغير ألسنتكم. Call people, but don't call people with your tongue. Calling people with your tongue, it has the potential to become insincere. It has the potential to have the opposite effect. It has the potential to create a sensitivity in the people that you are calling. Call people without saying anything, but rather by acting in a way that makes them ask you, what is your religion? What are your beliefs? What are your values? My invitation to myself and to all of us is that as we embark on a project named after and dedicated to the Imam of our time, let us commit that we are going to step forward and help build that community that without boundary of occupation or ethnicity or age or professional background is united in our love for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and our belief in the last day and our following Muhammad wa ali Muhammad alayhim as-salatu was-salam. So we create the opportunities to learn about our religion so we can perfect our faith and our practice, and we come together as a community to create an environment that can showcase the principles, the values, the ideals of Islam. And so in the words of Ahlul Bayt, we can be du'a linnas, calling people bighayri alsinatina. Not just because we say, but rather because we live the message of Islam. So inshallah, with that I will conclude my remarks. Please do visit the various tables, find out about the activities, and if there is an area where you feel you can contribute, or you have ideas and suggestions, then sign up, offer your input, and volunteer, so that as we come to the end of 2022, and we look towards our planning for 2023, we will be able to have much more effective and much more comprehensive programming and services that can meet the needs not just of our traditional community, but even those parts of our community and those constituencies that we may not have been able to reach and serve effectively until now. I'm going to pass the microphone to Brother Mohsen, who will be giving you a little bit of an introduction to, we have a WhatsApp channel for announcements, and we will have a messaging platform to pass information and to coordinate with volunteers. But before Brother Mohsen comes, any questions or any concerns at the conclusion of my remarks. So please recite Salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
Assalamu alaikum. So thanks, Saga, for invitation. So as you can see on the screen, I posted a QR code that you can scan to fill in the volunteer sign-up form. And on the form, we have different areas that you might be interested in to volunteer. And also we have, mashallah, a lot of folks here from different areas of like activities and operations in the center that are here to provide you more information. And also you can sign up there as well. As Aga mentioned, that we'll be using Google Chat platform for our coordination of various activities. In the past, we have used WhatsApp and Slack and Telegram. So with Slack, that was majorly used, but I think some people had some issues installing it and trying to figure out, navigate different variety of things. But it's a very powerful platform, but it's not very sometimes user-friendly and it's difficult. So with Google Chat, I think it's very straightforward. We all use, Gmail, so it's integrated. Everything is there, but you just have to sign up the form, or also provide us your email address, or you can also contact the table in the front to sign up to sign up directly right now. So I request all of you to install the Google Chat app from either App Store, from Apple or Google. And inshallah, after that, we will, once we have your information, we can send you an invite, or you can sign up right now to join the volunteers channel. Like Aga mentioned, that over years, our services have expanded a lot, and we have, as you know, that from COVID days, and after that, we had a lot of back-end activities, a lot of operations to support the community, and all those activities require volunteers. We don't have here anybody that is kind of paid on payroll that has to open the doors, do the cleaning, do a lot of planning and activities, and a lot of online activities that we perform to make sure that community is informed. So all those activities do require volunteers. And there are various different areas that you can offer your skills or your interest, or if you want to learn about some of those areas. Just want to mention a few things, like we are starting from the tables. We have Sunday school, we have youth circle, mashallah, they have every week, on Friday they have programs and various activities. For Sunday school, the sister can tell us the number of kids that attend, mashallah. So there's a lot of help needed there. So if you're a teacher, or if you want to teach, but have no experience, but definitely reach out. And also, we have, I'm not sure about that table. Mashallah, Girls Anjuman, right. So the Anjuman played a very key role in our center, or any center, as you know, that it requires, again, engagement from various folks in the community. So Boys Anjuman and Girls Anjuman. I think we recently started the Girls Anjuman. The Boys Anjuman has been in existence for, I think, last few years now. And then in the front, we have table to, if you have any information regarding the community services, and also outreach. If you're interested in that, make sure that you can attend that. And then we have table, Brother Alisha is there for our programming. That is all the programs that run throughout the year. If you're interested in joining the management of the programs, or volunteer for coordinating various activities for that, or actually if you have any idea that we should be running certain kind of programming, or we can introduce some programming, then definitely reach out. But remember, all these activities do require volunteers. We need helping hands to basically effectively run these programs, right? So that's the whole idea today about this open house, that we can open up regarding our how we perform all these operations to basically support the community, and how you can help us in joining that. And then after that, we have, mashallah, our SFJ table, which is a new initiative we started a few years ago to address some of the, I would say, issues and challenges in our communities, and also beyond our communities. And if you remember, we had a few programs over the last few years under that flag. So that, mashallah, that is something that we'll be expanding that in the future by having additional conferences and inviting external speakers to talk about the challenges and issues, not just our own community, but the communities that we live in. So that's a very important area. And after that, we have recreation and sense, which is, as you all know that all the great Eid programs and all the really fun activities that Brother Simon and his team has been planning and operating, and also recently the hike program, mashallah. So it was attended by a lot of people. So if you're interested in that, I'm personally very interested in that, but for some reason something happens and I'm not able to join some of those programs, especially the hike one. But if you have ideas or you want to join and offer again your services or ideas, again, ideas have to come with helping hands. That's our whole idea. So we welcome ideas, but we will welcome more if you're willing to help as well to implement those ideas. So with that, inshallah, if you have any questions, again, don't hesitate. I'll be here. Aga Suleiman and the whole team is here. If you have any questions, I would highly recommend install the Google app, the chat app, so we can get you on our volunteer channels right away, inshallah. Please recite salawat. Allah. So inshallah with that, feel free to reach out and walk around and meet other people. Again, remember, ideas have to come with the helping hands. That's the whole idea behind this whole open house. So again, we need a lot of your services and help. So feel free to walk around and ask any questions or show your interest. Thank you.